we shall overcome someday. Y'all sing it with us. Somebody sing, we shall overcome. Let it ring out that we shall overcome. I can't hear you, band. Overcome someday. Yeah. Somehow. Oh, I do believe that. I gotta hear it. Come on, one more time. Oh, somebody sing. Let it ring out. Clap your hands now, sing. Overcome someday. I know we get hard sometime. Oh, I believe that we shall overcome. Put those hands together. Yeah, the verse. Hey. Through sickness, heartache, and pain, sunshine and then storm and rain. But in the midst of it all, though we stumble and fall, we shall rise again. Sometimes when you feel the despair, just know that God is still standing there, saying we shall overcome someday, y'all. Well, somebody sing. Somebody sing. Oh, we shall overcome someday. One more time. We shall overcome someday. One more verse. Push the sickness, heartache, and pain, sunshine, storm, and rain. But in the midst of it all, though we stumble and fall, we shall rise again. And sometimes when you feel the despair, just know that God is still standing there, saying we shall overcome someday, y'all. Somebody say we shall. Yeah. Let it ring out that we shall. Oh, someday. I know it gets hard sometime. Yeah. Hey, we shall. Oh, we shall. Oh, we shall. Somebody sing. Let it ring out. Oh, someday. Oh, I believe that we shall overcome someday.
Well, put your hands together one more time for Maurice Mahan. What a great joy it is. We are excited. Today is Women's Day here at Rainbow Push. Can we make some noise for all the women that are in the building? Yeah, so today we are also celebrating none other than the governor of Talk Radio. Could you put your hands together for Cliff Kelly? What a great man. Celebrated a birthday this week, and so you're going to hear more about that today. Those of you that are watching, wherever you're watching, give us a call. 773-256-2700 is the number. Let us know wherever you are. We're grateful for our friends all across the world, those that are with us on Facebook Live, and we're excited today that Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. is here. Can we celebrate our leader, our founder, our president? And so we want you to stay tuned with us. Tomorrow morning, there's going to be a great conversation. We want you to tune in live to Keep Hope Alive Radio. It's a dialogue that you don't want to miss. You can download the iHeart app right now, and you can listen tomorrow from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. There's going to be a great dialogue with none other than Reverend Jackson, his daughter, Santita Jackson. And so we want you, wherever you are across the world, to tune in to Keep Hope Alive Radio. You can listen online at keephopealiveradio.com. You can stream that way, or again, get the iHeart app. We want to say happy birthday to the First Lady of Push, Miss Jacqueline Jackson, who celebrated a birthday this week. Come on, y'all can do better than that. We are grateful for her life, her legacy. And if you have not gotten her written work, you should. It's a great book that she has shared with the nation and the world, her letters that she wrote to her son while he was in prison. It's a great book, so make sure you go online right now to rainbowpush.org and you can buy your book today. We want to dedicate this broadcast to every soul that we lost Across this world, we are mourning. 49 people went to pray and they did not go back home. And so we are praying for peace. We're praying for justice. And we know that God is a healer. We're also praying for U.S. Army Captain Anthony Lewis of Matson, Illinois. He is the nephew of our very own Bonita Parker. He lost his life in the Ethiopian plane crash, and so we are praying for her. We're praying for the family of Clarence Travis, Reverend Jackson's former driver and security guard, as he's made his transition. Margie Renault, she was a mother of the Trade Bureau member here at Rainbow Push. Avery Sunshine, we're sending sunshine to her as she lost her father, a great man, Irvin Cyril White. And we're also praying for U.S. Senator, a great man who was a part of the constitutional amendment, Senator Birch Bayh. We are lifting up so many people across Chicago that are still here. We're sending well wishes and prayers for none other than Art Norman. Can we make some noise for Art Norman, a living legend here in Chicago? We're praying for Reverend Clay Evans and his lovely wife. And we're also praying for Audrey and Sinclair Booker. Come on, y'all, let's send them some positive energy. And we are praying that everything goes well. I want you all that are watching to stay tuned as we have a video as we deal with our property taxes here in Chicago.
Here's the SMF Weekly Update. What a week. Beto O'Rourke throws his presidential hat in the ring. Just as dozens of Republicans joined Senate Democrats this week to overturn President Trump's declaration of a national emergency at the southwestern border, Trump issued his first veto. A mom files a $500 billion lawsuit amidst the widely covered college admission scandal, just when the 50th NAACP Image Awards announced it will bestow the Vanguard Award on fly jock and mass media icon Tom Joyner for his commitment to HBCUs. The Tom Joyner Foundation has raised over $65 million, supporting 29,000 students attending historically black colleges and universities. Meanwhile, our students are competing and pushing to excel even against the odds. Push Excel STEM students were recognized by the Cook County Board of Commissioners. New Jersey teen Dylan Chidick overcame homelessness and gets into 17 different colleges on his own. Alana George taught herself to read, joining an exclusive organization with IQ score of 140. The Great Debaters. Morris McKay, freshman, former Push Excel Oratorical Society winner and Push Excel scholar, shared the news that the Wiley debate team took top prize at the 11th annual Eddie Shell Invitational Debate Tournament. And the children are not going to sit by and just chill. Children from all over the world participated in the Youth Climate Strike. He's a long-distance runner. Be in the room where it happens. Right before the Philadelphia City Council honored him and declared this weekend Meek Mill Weekend, Reverend Jackson met with the criminal justice advocate, critically acclaimed, multi-platinum hip-hop artist, songwriter, and entrepreneur Meek Mill. Reverend Jackson attended the Illinois Holocaust Museum Awards dinner with featured guest, 42nd President Bill Clinton at the Hyatt Regency Chicago this week. Reverend Jackson, Rainbow Push staff, and Bishop Horace Smith of Apostolic Faith Church prayed with, stood with, and supported our Muslim brothers and sisters on Friday at the Downtown Islamic Center as the world grieved the victims of the New Zealand mosque shootings. And let's not forget the women. Happy Women's History Month. Advance praise for and happy birthday to Mrs. Jacqueline Jackson, civil rights leader, supporter of equality for women, advocate for strong family bonds and relationships, and Our Lady, who's first. She's also the best-selling author of Loving You, Thinking of You, Don't Forget to Pray.
Ethiopia made history on Thursday by electing its first female president and Africa's only current female head of state.
I want history to remember me, not just as the first black woman to be elected to Congress, not as the first black woman to have made a bid for the presidency of the United States, but as a black woman who lived in the 20th century and dared to be herself. Shirley Chisholm. Read, share widely, and like Reverend Jesse Jackson's Sun Times column this week. To help Venezuela, the U.S. must use diplomacy, not a military coup. Thank you for tuning in to our International Saturday morning broadcast. We need your support. Here are ways to give to Rainbow Push Coalition. Text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to pound 41444 to support the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. and Rainbow Push Coalition. When you shop, Amazon gives. Visit Amazon Smile and select Push for Excellence as your charitable organization by starting your shopping at smile.amazon.com. Education in America. We must address the crisis.
We're looking at Brown versus the Board of Education, May 17th in Chicago, major summit on equity in public education.
May 17th, 2019, Push Excel is holding an education summit at Roosevelt University in Chicago, Illinois. We are inviting educators, parents, and education policymakers and foundations leaders to join Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. in a State of Education Summit in Chicago.
I would encourage other students to go on the HBCU tour because it's very educational. You learn a lot about your heritage when you visit the cultural sites. And for seniors, you get accepted to most of the colleges on the spot.
When it comes to choosing an HBCU, it can be hard to figure out where to begin. Push Excel HBCU College Tour kicks off on April 13th to April 20th, 2019. HBCUs have a long and illustrious history of offering African American students a world-class education. Join us. With your support, helping to fulfill college dreams are no longer impossible.
We need you to consider $1,500 is what it costs to take a student on this 8-day historic educational excursion, 8 days, 7 nights. That will pay for the bus, it pays for the lodging, it gives them 3 meals every day, it provides them with jackets and shirts so that we have a uniform look as we visit these campuses and various historic sites.
Go to www.pushexcel.org for more information. We invite you to register for our Rainbow Push Coalition and Citizenship Education Fund's annual international convention. Join us June 28th through July 2nd, 2019 at the Sheraton Chicago Hotel. For more information, visit www.rainbowpush.org.
Hi, my name is Felicia Neal. I am the National Director of Membership Services for the Rainbow Push Coalition. I am so excited to know that we have members around the world. Please, why don't you join us?
Join the movement, join Push. Do you have your pen?
Rainbow Push, and we are grateful today that one of the women that are serving on our staff, doing a great job. We are celebrating her life and legacy today. Also, you all, we are grateful for those of you that are tuned in. Give us a call, 773-256-2700. We have a choir today that's going to make a joyful noise. I want you to turn up your TV and your radio to Z-Lock in the New Experience. Y'all put your hands together and make them feel good.
Rainbow Push was Women's History Month, right? Hey, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need everybody to rise on their feet for me. Can you do that? Can you do that favor for me? We've done this song before, and Rev asked us to do it again. Reverend Wilson. All right, now I need you to get a little loose, get a little bit of room. Come on, band, hit me with that. All right, now I need y'all to make a little noise. Come on, put your hands together real quick, real quick. 1, 2, 3, hey! Let's go! Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Yeah, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Wait, everybody just, hey. Wait. All right, now this song is only gonna work if you move around a little bit. You gotta move around a little bit. Look at the person next to you and say, get loose, get loose. I know it's early in the morning, but get loose. Let's try one more time, band. I think they're ready for it. Hey! 1, 2, 3, hit it! Let's go! Everybody clap your hands. There you go, there you go. Come on. It's just real old school. Let's get it. Yeah, yeah. Good. When I think, everybody let's say, when I think about Jesus, you can join and all he's done for me. Hey, hey. Once was lost, but now I'm found. Hey, was blind, but now I see. I don't see you putting your hands together. If you can't tell it like I can, hey, what the Lord has done. There you go, there you go. Yeah, hey, so let me help you understand. Hey, the victory he won. Hey, hey, and this is what I need you to do. Everybody, 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 put your fists in the air. Hey, so put your fists in the air. To get it up right here. Get it up right here. Now everybody like this. Like this. There you go, like this. And like this. I need you real quick. This is what you do. Now freeze. Now dance like victory. Hey, hey, everybody dance like you got the victory. Yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, we're going to try this one more time. See if you can join us. When I think about Jesus and all he's done for me, y'all can probably join that along. Once was lost, but now I'm found. There you go. Was blind, but now I see. Hey, hey, you can't tell it like I can. Yeah, say what the Lord has done. Put your hand, put your hand, put your hand. Everybody, put your hand. Hey, so let me help you understand. There you go. Hey, the victory he's won. Hey, one more time, we're gonna do it like this. Everybody, put your fist in the air. Say, put your fist in the air. Put your fist in the air. This is for freedom right here. Y'all wave it like this. Like this. Like this. Like this. Like this. Now just freeze and dance like victory. Hey, there you go. I know it's early in the morning, but we're gonna dance a little bit. Yeah. Hey, I see dance like victory. Hey, just dance. Just dance. There you go. All right, this is how we're gonna do this real quick, real quick. Are my people in the house today? Rainbow Push, are you in the house today? Huh? Are you excited to be here? Are you excited to be pushing on today? I said, are you excited to be pushing on? This is how we're gonna do it like this. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna say, hey, why you praise the Lord like that? And all you say, he's been too good, can't turn back. Y'all got that? I say, why you praise the Lord like that? You say, been too good, can't turn back. So it sounds like this. Why you praise the Lord like that? Louder. Why you praise the Lord like that? Little bit low. Say, why y'all praise the Lord like that? Say, why you praise the Lord like that? Okay, real quick. The ladies, are you in the house today? Ladies, where my ladies at? Make some noise. I said, ladies, make some noise. I said, ladies, where y'all at today?
Right here.
I said, ladies,
Yeah.
where y'all at, huh?
Right here.
I said, ladies,
Yeah.
where y'all at today?
Right here.
I said, ladies,
Yeah.
where y'all at, huh? Say it like this. Why y'all praise the Lord like that, ladies?
Been too good, can't hold back.
Why y'all praise the Lord like that?
Been too good, can't hold
Yeah.
back.
Why y'all praise the Lord like that?
Been too good, can't hold back.
Say, why y'all praise the Lord like that? Now dance like victory. Hey, 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 hey. Come on, ladies, make some noise in here. Hey, wait. Yo, fellas in the house today. I say fellas. Hey, all right, fellas, let me hear you make some noise. Say fellas. Where y'all at today?
Right here.
Fellas, say fellas. Where y'all at today?
Right here.
All my big men are gone. Where y'all at today?
Right here.
Yo, fellas. Where y'all at today?
Right here.
Yo, I say, why y'all praise the Lord like that?
Been too good, can't hold
I
back.
say, why y'all praise the Lord like that? Huh? Come on, one more time. I say, why y'all praise the Lord like that? We gotta get out of here. Say, why y'all praise the Lord like that? Everybody clap your hands. God bless you, Rainbow Push. Yeah. Hard cut. 1, 2, hey. Somebody make some noise.
Hallelujah.
Seek Lock in the new experience, you all. We are today celebrating women, and this is a young lady that the world needs to hear. She's a third grader at Calvin Christian School, and she's going to share with us her oratorical piece. I want you to put your hands together for Christiana Haley Gray.
racket. There must be something out of the kilter. Well, I think the Negroes of the South and the women of the North all talking about rights. Well, the white man gonna be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this here talking about? The man over there says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helped me into carriages or lifted over ditches or have the best place everywhere. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arm. I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could head me. And ain't I a woman? I could work as much and eat as much as a man. And if I could bear the lash as well, when I could get it, I born 13 children, sold out to slavery. And when I cried under my mother's grief, nothing but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Now, what's the thing they call in the head? Intellect. That's it, honey. What does that have to do with women's rights and Negroes' rights? Now, that black man over there says that women can't have as much rights as men because Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? Where did your Christ come from? It came from God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. Now all Southern troops got nothing more to say. Thank you, Operation Push, and Reverend Jesse L. Jackson for this opportunity.
I am somebody. Y'all come up. I am somebody. I may be down but not destroyed, empty but not void, 'cause I am somebody. Oh, I am somebody. Oh, I am somebody. You can turn and walk away. At the end of this day, sing, I am somebody. Look at your name and say, I am somebody. Oh, I am somebody. At the end of this day, you can turn and walk away, sing, I am. Somebody say, I am. Oh, I am. Yeah. Let's keep this drive and keep hope alive. Sing, I am. Oh, I am. God made me, so I am. This day, trying to walk away, but at the end of this day, sing, I am.
I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. Respect me. Protect me. Never neglect me. I am somebody. I am God's child. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Cliff Kelly, #1, let me make you scream.
Oh, you can try to walk away, but at the end of this day, you gotta sing, I am somebody. Look at your neighbor one more time. I am somebody. Oh, I am somebody. Yeah, you can try to walk away, but at the end of this day, God says, I am somebody. Oh, I am. Good God Almighty, I am somebody. Hey, at the end of this day, look at somebody and say, I am somebody.
Put your hands together. I am a woman. Christiana, hear the great. Raise your hand. Stand up again, Christiana. Give her a big hand. Stand up, girl. Turn around. Say, I am a woman. Say it again. Say it again. We have so much ground to cover today. #1, April 2nd, there'll be an election for mayor and several council seats. Say April 2nd, there'll be an election. You must vote. Our choices are real. Opportunity is great. This time around, we will be heard in the mayor's office, in the county seat, in the treasurer seat, state's attorney seat, attorney general. We will be heard. Put your hands together. That makes sense to me. You know, we have a lot of ground to cover, but we want to honor in a special way today, Cliff Kelly. Some years ago, Melody, when they began to shift from just music and radio stations, they began to get some disc jockeys to do the talk show who could only do disc jockey. They couldn't engage in major conversation about major issues that mattered. Cliff operates as a professor. See, Cliff Kelly is a teacher, a challenger, a source of conscience. Cliff, we thank you so much. You mean so much to us. Before I hear Sister Janita do a song, I want Melody Spann, who worked under, with, over Cliff Kelly down through the years, the owner of the WBUN radio station, which has been hosting Cliff Kelly down through the years. Melody Spann, give Melody a big hand.
Good morning. Reverend, thank you so much. Jonathan, thank you so much to the entire Rainbow Push Coalition family. We all are family. And Cliff, I wanted to come by here today to say thank you. Cliff Kelly has been the longest serving on-air personality in WVON's history. You served longer than my dad on the air. You served longer than Wesley South on the air. And you've been an incredible force in this great city. And it won't stop. It may be repositioned, but it will never stop. But because of your work, little Christiana right there, that's the next WVON host. So what becomes important as we celebrate Women's History Month and celebrate your life? You don't know what a blessing it is for you to be there and toil for 25 years with me. I'm just honored today that I came here not looking down on you, but up at you. I am so grateful for that. I want God to continue to bless you. You have not heard the last of Cliff Kelly on WVON, rest assured that. But thank you, buddy. Thank you for all that you've done to help us grow the talk of Chicago. We would not be where we are without you. I want you to know that, and I love you. Thank you.
Well, if I could sing, I would sing that song, Please Stay. I'm not going to do that today. Janita Lattimore, a great singer, soloist. We love her so much. She comes by every now and then. She travels so much. She's going to do a rendition of the whole, he's got the whole world in his hand. Janita Lattimore. Let's hear it. Put your hands together. Put your hands together, Janita.
He's got the whole world in his hand. 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 He's got the woods and the waters in his hand. He's got the woods and the waters in his hand. He's got the sun and the moon right in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the birds and the bees right in his hand. He's got the birds and the bees right in his hand. He's got the beasts of the field right in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got you and me right in his hand. He's got you and me right in his hand. He's got everybody in his hand. He's got Lord in his hand. He's got
Let's hear it for Janita. Give her a big hand. Janita Lattimore. Let's hear it. Janita Lattimore, give her a big hand. There's a parade downtown, but Tony knows her votes come from out here, so she stopped by on it before she goes down to march. Tony, come up here and say hello to us. Big hand for Tony Pretwinkle. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. Put your hands together, my friends.
Good morning. I'm very grateful to Reverend Jackson and to Operation Push for the good work they do day in and day out. And of course, I'm grateful for the opportunity to say a few words this morning. We're here to honor Cliff. And some of you know I'm a history teacher by profession. And I always say that democracy is at the same time the best and the most fragile form of government on earth. The best and the most fragile form of government on earth because it depends on an active, engaged, and informed citizenry. An active, engaged, and informed citizenry. And Cliff Kelly has been part of the information fabric of our African American community for a very long time. I can't tell how many times I've been on his program, innumerable times, and I always find him well-informed, thoughtful, careful. He's a gem, and we have been blessed to have him with us for so long. And I'm very grateful to him for his service, so I wanted to begin by acknowledging and congratulating him on the good work that he's done, informing our citizens. I'm a candidate for mayor of the city of Chicago, And we live in a great city. And if we want to continue to be a great city, we have to focus on growth and opportunity. Growth and opportunity. And let me just say, we cannot survive and thrive if we don't. And you know, we focus so much on downtown and growth and development there. And that's important because that's the economic engine of our region and our state. But we also, if we want to be a world-class city, we have to focus on our neighborhoods as well. We can't be a world-class city with a bright and sparkling downtown and struggling neighborhoods. We have to invest in the communities in which ordinary folks live. And that hard work of community building is what I've done in my public life. I spent 19 years being alderman of this ward and worked hard to improve our schools, to revitalize our communities, and to address our public safety challenges. And let me tell you, it's hard work. It's hard work. We worked with parents and principals and community residents to improve our schools. It's hard work. We worked with community residents and developers and the Chicago Housing Authority to revitalize neighborhoods. We built 1,500 units of housing just in the 4th Ward when I was alderman. We have to have affordable housing for working families. We can't have a situation in which only the privileged can afford to live in our city. And we have to invest not just in housing, but our businesses as well. Small and medium-sized businesses in our neighborhoods employ our neighborhood residents. And we need to support them in every way we can. And I've proposed assistance that would provide them with loans and grants to start and build and maintain their businesses. That's critical. And we also have to address the public safety challenges. And I worked with commanders and officers on the street and community residents to try to address the crime that plagues so many of the communities that I served. And let me just say, when I was a teacher, I lost one of my students in a drive-by shooting. And I know what a devastating effect it had on her fellow students, on the faculty like me, on the community out of which she came. Everyone has the right to feel safe in their home and in their community. And the first obligation of the mayor is to be sure that that's the case in all of our neighborhoods. And we have some real challenges, because the only way in which we can address the violence is to be sure that we have a good working relationship between police and community. In many of our neighborhoods, that's not the case. There's a wariness of the police based on the way in which our communities have been policed over time. And we have to address that by investing more in community policing, by investing more in training and supervision for our officers, but holding them accountable as well. Across the country, for every 100 murders, 62 or 63 suspects are arrested. But in the city of Chicago, it's only 15 out of 100. 15 out of 100. And what that means, and people on the street know it, is if someone murders your brother or your father or your uncle, they're unlikely to be charged. And that leads people to seek revenge and retaliation on their own. And of course, that just is a domino effect that increases the violence. So we have some real challenges that we have to address. And as I said, experience counts. Experience matters. Being mayor is not an entry-level job. And I have the experience working with communities around the real challenges that our city faces. Improving our public schools, rebuilding our neighborhoods, and addressing the challenges of public safety and violence in our neighborhoods. I have experience doing that good work, and I'm the only one in this race who does. I was the first African-American woman elected alderman of the 4th Ward. I was the first African-American woman elected president of the Cook County Board of Commissioners. I almost said arrested. Sometimes it felt like I was arrested. And I will be the first African-American woman elected mayor of the city of Chicago. Thank you so much.
Put your hands together, put your hands together. We promised that every Saturday down to election that we'd make this platform available for both Lori Lightfoot and Toni Preckwinkle, which we deserve to know, to hear, to make choices. We can vote now, but April 2nd is a big, big day for our lives. I want to bring on now one of Cliff Kelly's mentees, learn his skills under Cliff Kelly, Jonathan Jackson. Give it up for Jonathan.
Thank you, Rainbow Push family. Thank you, WVON family, for being in attendance today. This is the Cliff Kelly Day here at Rainbow Push. Now, the good news is there will be more to come. Nowhere in the Bible is there retirement. So, Governor Kelly, you are not retiring. So we're going to get him repositioned, and we're going to keep this institutional knowledge right here with us. Before I give my remarks and a tribute to Governor Kelly, Dad, if I could, I would like to say a few words about a topic that is touching me deeply this week. We've all seen the news of the cheating scandal that's going on in major universities. And if you haven't, let me explain it to you. A part of a scheme has been revealed on how the wealthy and the elite get into the schools that apparently have prestigious names. But now we know, as I had long suspected and has been confirmed, that those that have maybe the most prestigious and popular degrees are not the brightest students. And in this month of African American women in history, you've seen the competent attorney Lori Lightfoot, you've seen the talented and the competent county board president, Mrs. Toni Preckwinkle. You know one thing, they didn't cheat to get into school. I couldn't help but just think of, as I saw Miss Juanita Lattimore sing here, for those of you that are not in the auditorium, that was not Memorex, that was not a soundtrack. She was not cheating. She can really sing the opera. Shaka Khan did her thing, coming from Kenwood, and another bright, talented, beautiful young lady, Miss Juanita Lattimore, also a Kenwood graduate, that has sung in Israel, has sung in Mexico. Was at the 2009 when I first heard her at the Pavilion in 2009 right here in Chicago. She has mastered her arts. When I think of Serena and Venus Williams, although having been drug tested the most, they have never cheated. Even when you get a ref to take points away in a highly competitive match, even though we have the first Haitian woman that they call Asian because she won, she never cheated a day in her life. When I think of Althea Gibson, never had a chance to cheat. When I think of all of the African American women, I am so proud of you. I say congratulations, and I say God bless you and keep you. The second point I want to make is on this academic cheating scandal. There's a front door. What does the front door to getting into the university mean? That means you take the test with the same amount of time, with the mental acuity to go on and try to pass it. Then there is something called the back door, where the grades may be lower because you have outstanding talents, i.e. playing basketball, i.e. generating money for football, where you can't take the whole list of all of the academic courses and curriculums that are available. They tell you these are the 4 or 5 majors that you can have playing basketball. And many of those men and women are highly talented, but because they have to work for the university and make the university money, they have to have their own tutors, their own dorm, stay off campus all all of the time, traveling this entire month to make money for the university so that the boosters can come in. Now, this is a slippery slope they start going down when they say that you cannot have donors' children get in to the university. How does that happen, Governor Kelly? Maybe we can talk about this coming Tuesday. Because when they say you can't have the donors' money to get their children into the school if they're not academically qualified, oh my goodness. Who's going to donate the $25 and the $50 and $100 million to put their names on the business schools? Who's going to donate the $50 and $100 million to put their name on the athletic arenas? After they donate the big money, of course they find extra consideration to let the rich and the powerful's children go to school. We've seen the front door. We've seen the back door. Now what's being discovered is the underground and the side door. Now, it's not appropriate to talk about anyone's children because we all have to go through something. And having been a professor, I've learned that all children have special needs. Someone would say, well, I'm not special needs. I would say, oh, if I had a chance to talk with you, I would find a special need that you have. If you wear glasses, that's a special need. If you have a hearing aid, that's a special need. If you need additional time on the test, that's a special need. If you have any other consideration, a makeup exam, you've got a special need, Governor. So we all have special needs. But my God, in closing on this part, before I introduce my good friend, Governor Cliff Kelly, and you all should tune in for one of our last segments coming up on Tuesday, WVON 1690. How challenged is your child that you have to spend $6.5 million to get them into the school? And the irony of it is, having been born in the right zip code, having had the best teachers, having spent the most money for the best tutors, having had all the additional services and resources that you need to have all of those advantages of life, now you're going to find a way to pay a man to say you have a disability. That is the part that is so disgusting. The person that actually used their merit, that actually worked in crewing and golf and hockey, whatever athletic endeavor you did in basketball and baseball, someone's going to cheat that already had an advantage? Well, that's just one part. Now we need to talk about where are we in the graduate school programs now that we know that it's not fair? Where are we in the admissions and the selections now that we know that people are buying time to take the test? If you have more time to take the test, you should do better. That is what the IEP is all about. There are 50,000 students in the city of Chicago's public school system that qualify for IEP, the individual education plan, but they're not given individual instruction. We have geniuses right here that have not been given the resources they need. Let's open up the playing field and make it level for all. Our best and brightest are not at the top universities. It's been exposed. And you see the videos of their children laughing and making a mockery of not even wanting to be in school. In case you're not in here today, Christiana has no teleprompter. She's not a cheater. That child is gifted and should have the right to go to the best school and not be denied because somebody else's child that doesn't work hard, that's not willing to take advantage of all of the resources they have, but they want to cheat on the last exam. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open this up because it happens in the construction industry. We can have the best price, but they say, you were close. You were within striking distance. You almost had it. You a lie and a half. You cheated on the bidding process. It was rigged. Then you come back and do an adjustment and say, I had to do a change order after we all submitted the final price so you can raise your price to recoup your profits. You can see it in the medical services. Our women don't have equal access on the south and the southwest sides to get to the county hospital. I look at Northwestern University Hospital, great hospital. They're one of the leading kidney hospitals in the United States of America. Is there a Northwestern facility on the south side of Chicago? Don't we need kidneys too? Ladies and gentlemen, this cheating scandal is going to roar. It's going to go on and on. So why am I telling you this? Where's the hope? I want you to keep your children encouraged. So what if your child didn't make it to the school of their choice? Tell them they're beautiful on the inside. Tell them they're young, gifted, black and brown and white, and that they deserve their fair shot. Don't let one rejection letter from a university of your child diminish your child's hopes. Because the best and brightest don't always get accepted. That's the message I want you to take away from that. And the children that had the most advantage still found a way to cheat. All along saying, I embrace diversity. I'm all for business with a heart. I'm all for being against Donald Trump. I'm all for giving to the Negro and the poor and the minority causes. And then you use your wealth, your power, your influence to cheat, to lock those same minorities out. That's it, Benny. For the man we're here to honor today, I'm thinking I'm on WVON with Cliff right now. I didn't know this was recorded, but I mean it. My friend, the governor of talk radio in Chicago, what does that really mean? That means he has his hands on the heartbeat. That means he feels us. Governor Kelly and I have been able to talk about the economies of India because he's been, to China because he's been, to Brazil, Mexico, Japan because he's been. A man right here in our own midst that's a scholar, a legal mind, an attorney by trade, having served 16 years in our city, having been in the state legislature, who had revised and amended and updated our state constitution. A man who sits humbly on the south side of Chicago, teaching facts. He's quite humorous, but he has all of the facts. A man that fact checks me, the governor of talk radio, who's born in Chicago. A young man right here from our own midst that's a veteran who's still going to host the Heroes program on Saturday. A man who's unafraid and unapologetic to talk about the African American community, to tell the powers that be the truth. A man that I found to be giving and loving and sharing. A man that I look forward to continuing my work with on educating, uplifting, and inspiring our community so that we can get to the height and the position that God wants us to be. Without further ado, a veteran from the military who served honorably, a legislator and a statesman, a scholar and a radio commentator, host, analyst, the Honorable Cliff Kelly.
Deep in my heart, oh, I believe that we shall overcome someday. Somebody sing, we shall overcome. We shall overcome there. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, oh, darling, I believe that we shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
Woo! Isn't that great? Well, you come by Rainbow Push, which I've been doing for years. It's just a wonderful thing. Thank you so much, Professor. But before I go further, I just want everybody to know, because you've been here, many of you with the breakfast and all, and you may not have heard, unless you caught it on your phones, Bush's presidential library burned to the ground. Yeah, right. Yeah. Both books were lost. And he was really upset because he had just finished coloring the second one. So I just want to thank the kind words. Just have to have a little humor, you know. You got to remember these things too. A guy goes to the doctor and says, "Doc, my memory is gone. I can't remember anything." And the doctor says, "Well, how long has that been going on?" And the patient looked at him and said, "How long has what been going on?" So when you don't get that, I just had a birthday a couple of days ago, and I want to thank all the people who called in and sent cards and so forth. But, you know, I still know where I live, and and all these other good things. But Rainbow Push has just been so great for so long, and I want to thank the previous speakers, of course. You know why Jonathan, the professor, is on my show. I know how smart he is, and years ago I asked him to come on, and we had, he would come on occasionally, but people start calling in and saying, listen, we'd like him to be on a regular basis, if that's possible. So, of course, I asked my boss, Melody Span Cooper, and she said, yeah, that would be a good idea. And he is just great. We all know that. This man is just unbelievable. And every Tuesday for the last years, we've even had a party about how many years he's been on, and he's been giving us so much information. We just love him. And, of course, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And, you know, his dad is just, we have him on as often as we can. And, of course, we read his articles in the paper. Melody, thank you so much for the kind comments. I appreciate you. You know what I think of you. I love you dearly. And she tells me things I've forgotten. You know, she's been on the air that long, okay, and mentioned some of the other people. I do remember this. We just moved to River City, but that's the third location that I've been on WVON, because we were in Kedzie, and then on 87th Street. And so I guess I have been there a little while, you know. Yeah, I have been there a little while. But because I live right, and, you know, I still am able to hang in and do things, and I will continue to do that with Melody. And because there's so much. You know, this is National Women's Month. How could it be any better here in Chicago? You know, when you think about the situation, we've got so many women in great positions, and now history is going to be made very shortly. Absolutely. We will have an African-American woman who is going to be the mayor of the city of Chicago. And I think that's just a great thing. Women just have done so much, and I understand that. When we talk about education, I was in a grammar school. You know, it was okay, not great, but we had a principal that was not of color and really didn't do too much for the children, but we had a Parent-Teachers Association, a PTA. I don't know whether those still exist. I hope they do. But the PTA was, my mom was the vice president of the PTA. The person ahead of the PTA happened to be the wife of the minister of the church we went to. And they start going down to the Board of Education and bringing other people and making demands. And of course, nothing happened right away, but they didn't stop. And eventually, the Board of Education, Harold Hunt at the time, finally said, give those women anything they want. I don't want them in my office ever again. But that's what education is all about, and that's what women have a propensity to do. We mentioned the veteran show. The professor mentioned, yes, I'm a veteran, and we are pleased to do that because there's so many veterans in you know, they're not doing well, PTSD and the whole situation. Thank you. But one of the things we had a discussion not too long ago, and there was this question, should women be in combat? I was the most vociferous person in favor of that. Women will kick your butt. Yeah, listen, it's just, and of course, after that, you know, if you want to be in the military, the best thing that can happen to you, for careers, the best thing that can happen to you is you get a congressional appointment to one of the military academies, West Point being the most popular. The last class, the person, and now there's 4,200 of these people, all of them want to be the cadet captain, right? Everybody wants to be the cadet captain. The last class, the cadet captain was an African-American woman. And what she had to put up with the racism and the military and all of that. And I tried to find this out. Her last name was Askew. I was in the service with a gentleman we referred to as AAA. His name was Albert A. Askew. And that's not a common name, and particularly with African Americans, and it wouldn't surprise me at all based on what his background was if they were related. I tried to reach out and find out, but I couldn't, but it wouldn't surprise me. But the fact is that with National Women's Month, we've got so much to be thankful for, and I just appreciate the fact that so many people are doing so many things to make our communities better. And, you know, I have had students go on the Rainbow Push College Tour. Melody knows that because we've sent some of them, and they do great. They find out where they want to go, and just give Rainbow Push another round of applause because the things that happen here are just unbelievable, unbelievable. We're always pleased to have, of course, the Reverend on, because he just, you know, the one thing with the professor, when I have Professor Jackson on, I know this is going to be a two-way conversation. You know, I talk, he talks, and we do well. But when I have... He knows what I'm going to say. I don't have to worry about questions. You know, whatever. It's just great. But I want to thank everybody. The great music. I have so many memories of this establishment. You know, I see a gentleman here from the Harold Washington administration that, you know, I'm talking. It's just a great thing. We've all experienced so much. And I just want to thank all of you. And as my boss lady said, I'll be around. I'm not going to run anywhere. You know, I love these things. You never know what's going to happen. The guy was really in the hospital, wasn't doing well. He tell his wife, you may as well take him home. You know, we can't help him. Let him pass away in peace. And she said, okay. So he's laying there in the bed comatose, and she starts cooking chitlins. His favorite dish. His favorite dish. The aroma wafts into his bedroom, and his eyes start blinking, and he says, he's thinking, chitlins, chitlins. And he gets up, and he's bouncing off the walls, trying to get to the kitchen. And finally, he gets there, and he dips the spoon into it and gets ready. And she hits him in the back of the head with a spoon and says, get away from that. That's for the repast. They're getting rid of me, folks. Love you all. Thank you so much. I look for your continued support.
for repass. Let's hit the repass. Cliff knows some of the stuff he can't say on the radio. He has more stuff after the show than before the show, right, Melody? Let me make this appeal to you. I need your attention. Stop and use for a moment. Clarence Travis, who was for many years my bodyguard and for our family, the police department sent him to be a spy for them. He became a spy for us. He became the bodyguard for Michael Jordan for many years. He died last week, and his funeral is today, this morning, 11 o'clock, as a matter of fact. My family is there already. I'll be dashing in, back here about 12:30. But we thank God for Clarence Travis and for his family and all that they mean to us. I want to make this appeal to you right now. We're sending 100 children on a tour across the South, come next month. It's $1,500 per child. Most folks who send children on the tour average around $300. That's about it. But we cannot say no if they have the qualifications. Some people will underwrite a child or two. This morning, Reverend Daniels underwrote a child. Give a man, Reverend Daniels, $1,500. If you will underwrite a child or a portion of a child, Stan, you will underwrite a child on the tour or a portion of a child. We need your support. You may be able to, you want to, because some children have the best minds and they don't want to cheat. All they need is an opportunity. If you would give at least $1,000, Stan, you give it or raise it. This is so important to us. $500. Bishop Jones, thank you, Bishop. Maddox Moore, thank you, Maddox. You give or raise $500 to send a child on this tour that they might. Many children live in Woodland, they've never seen. Here in Chicago means nothing to them. They've never seen it. They're not DePaul, Northwest means nothing to them. We're going to break that cycle. That's part of our mission. You'll give $250 to send a child to college. We're going down to 63rd Street now, $100. Now, those who give our regular collection, we're really running because to our regular meetings of need to use the swipe machine. If you're not a member, raise your hand. Not a member, push, raise your hand now. You're not a member, raise your hand now. Won't you take an envelope and fill it out today? Fill it out today. You would give at least $100 to push. Please stand. At least, Melody, get up, please. Melody, get up again, Melody. Oh, Melody, she's going to send 3 children. Thank you, Melody. You give at least $100, please stand. Rainbow Push. We need your support. We need your support. Please stand. Please stand wherever you are. We need your support. At least $100. Please stand wherever you are. We thank you so much. Lord, our group, y'all was singing today. You give at least $50. But Mark, you over there hiding a little cap outfit. At least $50, please stand. We need your support. Don't take our work for granted. We need your support to make it happen. Ziegler, I know you have money. You work because you have more money. In lawsuits, you have lots of money. You give something. You give something, Reggie. You give something. Maybe $25, maybe $10, maybe a food stamp. Something you'll give. Cliff, some of your money. Cliff got money he never spent. His money turned brown. That's why he can walk away, because he got so much money. Say, but Cliff Kelly, we'll be back. Cliff Kelly, we'll be back every morning. Oh. Drop a little stuff in the game there. Bishop Brown, $100. Thank you, Bishop. Bishop, come up here and sing something, please. Anything. Work it out with him. Bishop Brown, please come up here.
Someone gave money on the college tour, $40,000.
Bishop, come and sing something. Everybody has to work to do what they can do. You give something. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Ushers, pick it up. How many would like to join the Rainbow Pushers choir? You'd like to join the choir? Stand. You'd like to join our musical. We need some musicians. We get ready to take off and go pick a place with our musical staff. All right. You like to be an usher. An usher. I just want to sit and just look at people. You got to do something. Melody, you sound like this morning. You talking about good time. You're right. Cheer-eyed. Yep. Been longer than my dad, the blues man. Let's sing together. Amen. Bishop, what you gonna sing? What you gonna sing? Oh, all right, do that then. do something, Bishop. Look at me like I'm like something wrong with me.
We're going to sing Happy Birthday to Cliff Kelly.
Do that, sing that then.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Cliff Kelly. Happy birthday to you. Again, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Cliff Kelly. Happy birthday to you.
Y'all like that? Let us stand together. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Everybody say. Everybody say.
You missed that note.
Amen. Amen. Let the church say. Everybody say. One more time, y'all. Amen. Amen. Everybody say. Amen. Everybody say. Amen. Everybody say. Amen. 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 Let's give it up for our living legend, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson. Clap your hands. All of our special guests. One more time for the governor of radio, Cliff Kelly. Amen. Don't forget to go online, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Share, like, and spread the word. The push is on. Thank you for your support. Don't forget, if you want to sponsor a young person on our Black College Tour, if you have not given yet, if you have not given, please bring that offering, that contribution, that donation, bring it to one of the receptacles on either aisle. If you have not given, bring that now. If you have not given, please make sure we receive your contribution. All of our special guests, thank you so very much. All of our students from out of town, thank you so very much. Reverend Slim Coleman, thank you for your delegation on today. Pilson, thank you. Give it up for Reverend Slim Coleman. One of our former national executive directors, Mark Allen, is having a birthday. Y'all give it up for Mark Allen. Thank you so very much. If you have not given, you have not contributed, may the grace of God and the sweet communion of the Holy Spirit keep you is our prayer. Amen. Everybody say, say, amen. Everybody say, amen. 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 Everybody say, amen. 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 Everybody say,